Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's time for coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Brenda Denbesten. So, Brenda, I was thinking maybe we should kick things off today before we get into what you are doing right now in your current role at Orica, that we could touch on a topic that you've gotten into on your wonderful YouTube series, Chronicles of a Female Engineer. I love that title. And that is starting off with some myth busting around what engineers actually do and what the field is really like. You actually did touch on this at the end of our Espresso Shots episode, but let's just kick things off now at the beginning of this main Time for Coffee interview, kind of myth busting. What an engineer actually does, because there are an awful lot of misperceptions.
Yes, there certainly are. So people often think that engineering is for boys. And I think the premise of this myth comes because people think engineers work on cars and they make buildings. And that's really the knowledge that people have. So if you ask some high school, primary school girls and students, what does an engineer do? Maybe they make cars and make buildings. So that's the initial myth that I like to bust, because engineers are very broad, and engineers can work on coding. They can work in computers. Chemical engineers work in water, food manufacturing. They can make beers and alcohol in distilleries. They can work in petrochemical industries, mining, and even manufacturing cars in heavy industry. So alongside those things is an additional number of applications. And then there's bridges and structural engineers. And so the list is endless. People also believe that engineers have got to be very analytical. They don't understand the soft skills that come into an engineer, and the very important soft skills. So people often think, I'm not good at maths, so I can't be an engineer. And yes, there are a few modules of maths that you need to do during your college and university studies. But as long as you keep up with it, ask your tutors, because everything stacks on, right? So if you don't pay attention in the first few weeks, it can be a struggle. But keep up with the content, keep stacking it on. And after second year, I haven't used mathematics in my day-to-day job for years now. So yes,
Really?
It's foundation. Yeah. So some engineering jobs do not even focus on mathematics. So that's a common misconception around engineers as well. And those are the 2 key ones that I really like to bust. The fact that you can work in multidisciplines, and that maths is not a must-have for the whole, for your whole career.
I really was blown away when I heard you mention that on your YouTube series. I thought, well, of course math would be foundational. So what kind of math? What are the basics that you must take, just sort of foundational math, in order to graduate with an engineering degree?
Yes, so there is a lot of statistics that's involved. You do a lot of thermodynamics, and what that bases on is, even I've lost touch of what's involved. But statistics is the main one that you bank on, and complex theories, your Pythagoras theorem, etc. I mean, look, I actually, it's a few, to be honest, I haven't used it in so long that I don't even remember what the subjects are called in university. But it's there for a moment in time. It's there for a year or two. Focus. Get the help you need. Get some extra tutorial sessions if you need to. Just keep up and pass so that you can get on to the more juicy subjects that you want to, and make your way out to the industry that excites you.
You can always take free classes on Khan Academy and learn about this. There's Coursera. There are other places where you can go and take a cheaper class, maybe than what you would be paying in school, or something to supplement your studies. Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.